Hello everybody, my name is Kara, and today I am here with the Hate to Love book tag. This tag was created by Lori from Lori and Thomas. I almost said Lori Dawson, but she has since changed her channel name, and also Grace Marie, and I was tagged by Lori. I will of course link both of the creators down below. Question number 1. If you had to pick one favorite trope, which would it be? So I'm not going to let myself say Hate to Love because that's literally the name of this tag, and I don't think that would be entirely creative, but I'm going to go with that character archetype that's kind of like, oh, I'm like the bad boy and I'm really cool and I'm just being tough. I'm not here to like be a good person, and then they're actually just like the sweetest little cinnamon roll you've ever seen. I love that character trope so much. I just eat it up. I don't like the real alpha males. I like the ones who like to act and think like they're alpha males, but they're really just like sweet little beans. I love that. Number 2. What is one trope you wish never existed? Hard to narrow it down. I'm gonna go with the guy not noticing or caring about or appreciating his friend who is a girl until another guy, probably a better one for her, starts paying attention to her and treating her like a person. I hate that shit. It drives me crazy. It's not exclusive to like guys feeling that way about girls, but that's when I notice it the most, and it just any version of this just pisses me off so much. I can think of so many books like off the top of my head that did that and that drove me crazy. Grisha trilogy. But it needs to stop because it's so insulting and just like frustrating to read about. Like, if I didn't already dislike the character who does this, there's no way I'm not gonna hate them now. Number 4. Name a favorite book that exhibits the following tropes. And the first one is enemies to lovers. So given as that's like my absolute favorite romance trope ever, it was really hard to narrow it down, so I'm just gonna go with one of my favorites, and that is Of Beast and Beauty by Stacey J. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling that's set in space, but it doesn't, I feel like if you're not a sci-fi person, this would be kind of a good one to start with because it doesn't really, like, it's kind of sci-fi light, I guess, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I think it's really well done. But anyway, this is such a great book. Like, the relationship between Isra and Jem is just so well done because they have, like, legitimate reasons for hating each other because of, like, how they were raised and, like, basically their respective societies and how they, like, taught them to think about the other person, and even, like, some personal experiences with the other person's, like, culture. They have like legitimate reasons for not liking each other at all, but to see them sort of go from that to like grudging allies and then to like friends or like companions and then to actually like being really deeply in love with each other was just so well done. I think every stage in their relationship was handled so well, and I highly recommend this book. It's so good. It just like rips my heart out, but you like it, you know? I also want to give a content warning for suicide. I don't think we see it on page, but it is kind of discussed and remembered, so just keep that in mind. The next one is the chosen one trope. This was really difficult for a different reason because I tend not to like the chosen one tropes at all. Like, I really just, I would much rather read about a character who's like an ordinary person or who's maybe not the best at what they do, but because of their determination or because of other factors and like working together with other people, they are able to do these amazing things, you know, rather than just like, oh, the prophecy said you're the best, so you just are. So I went with Uprooted by Naomi Novik. Now, Agnieszka is definitely kind of a, I don't want to say special snowflake because that has some like really negative connotations now that I hate, but I'm gonna say she's like a very kind of bordering on Mary Sue, but not quite. She's like that weird mix of like Bella Swan and like Gonna Save the World. That sounds really weird, but what I'm trying to say is like she's so bad at everything that you're just like, why are you the main character? Like, she's like, I'm not special, and it's like, if you keep telling me that, I'm gonna believe it. But there's also this part of her that's like, oh, you're just gifted at everything you ever try, and all of those things should mean that I hated her, and for a while I was like not really sure how to feel about her. But this is one of my favorite books of all time. Like, I gave this book 5 stars. I understand a lot of people hate it, and I can totally see why, like, I get that, but it's so rare for me to not connect with the main character as much as I did for part of this book, and to still end up loving it. And the last one on that question is Insta-Love, and that's another one that I really hate, so I had to really dig to find a book that I enjoyed with it. But I'm going with Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, because the like premise of this book, like the main character, she falls in love very quickly with this man Maxim, and you're kind of supposed to find it unbelievable, I think. If you guys have read this book, let me know what your thoughts are on that. But I think you're actually supposed to read this and be like, what are you doing, girl? Like, get out of there. I think that's what makes this such a great, I don't know, suspenseful-ish, like psychological thriller. Number 5 is name a trope that seems the most unrealistic. I love this question, by the way. So I'm gonna go with the, like, character finds themselves in a strange situation and they treat it like a dream for like 3.5 days. This drives me up the wall because it, like the question says, it just like doesn't make sense to me. Because here's my perspective on this. If you're like going about your normal day and something crazy happens that you have like no preparation for, like basically this magical world that you never knew existed, like whatever. If that happens, yeah, you're gonna be really confused and probably scared, and you probably will think that you're like imagining things or that you're dreaming or like whatever. I can see that happening for like the first bit of it, but to go on acting like that when this like dream has been happening for like days or like hours or whatever, and furthermore when it's like not even feeling like a dream, like when actions have like kind of logical sequences and conclusions and like all of this. Basically everything about the situation is telling you that, hey, maybe you should at least consider the possibility that this is not a dream. I don't understand why characters insist on acting like it is and like doing stupid things. Like, oh, I don't even have to worry about this like sword fight that I'm in because it's just a dream. If I die, no big deal. I just don't understand that because like if you are in a dream and you treat it like it's real, like no harm done, you know, maybe you have like a slightly more adventurous, exciting dream because you went along with it. But if for some incredible reason, that always of course happens in fiction, it is like really happening and it's not a dream, you're probably gonna end up dead because you were just so stubborn about the fact that no, everything I know about the world is always and 100% right, even when like evidence to the contrary tells me that I'm wrong about something. I'm getting really heated about that one because can you tell that it is a pet peeve of mine? Number 6, have you ever DNF'd a book because of a trope? And I actually have. And you guys know, I almost never DNF. It's kind of a problem of mine. So for me to actually quit reading a book because of a trope, you must know that it was pretty bad, and it was. I don't even remember the name or the author. It was like one where the main character found herself in, it was like sort of like a Robin Hood-esque world. I don't even remember if it was like a fairy tale retelling or what. It might have been like about fairy godmothers or something. So she finds herself in this world, and I don't remember anything else about the plot. But basically the trope or like the plot element that made me stop reading the book was there's something that happens through these like weird circumstances that I don't even remember. She ends up with a baby that she like has to take care of, and this girl, by the way, this is a young adult book, so she was like a teenager, a young teenager, and it was her baby from like the future or something. Like I'm not really interested in characters having like children or babies anyway. Like I don't know, it's not something I gravitate to when I read, but especially in this case it was just so weird and made me really uncomfortable because like all of a sudden this like 15-year-old girl or however old she was, it was like she was a completely different character. The way it was written was almost like now she had achieved like her true purpose or something. I don't know, like just something about it was really uncomfortable, and like obviously, you know, I don't have kids and so I don't have personal experience, so of course like having kids, like that is going to affect your life and change your life in a really like big and important way, but the way it was handled with this character was like really like reducing her to being a mother and like only a mother, and especially when like she hadn't like consented to this. It was partly that and partly the fact that like the guy love interest there was like with her, and I hate the like romantic trope where the two people have to like take care of a baby together. I just like don't like that. It's just not for me. And yeah, so there was just a lot about that trope and the way it was used that I really didn't like in that book, so I quit reading it at that point because I'm like, this is clearly not a book for me, like not something I'm gonna enjoy. And finally, number 7 is who do you tag? And I'm going to put a few people in the description. Also, if you just see this tag and you're interested in doing it, please do it. It was a lot of fun. It gives you a chance to like rant and rave about some tropes, so I think it's a good balance there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you soon with another video, and I hope you love the next book you read. Bye!